Our viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. Got some NFL news going on. I'm a little tired today. Yesterday I was up, at night watching that great concert, concert with Kendrick Lamar. As you guys know, if you followed this channel before, the early days, and the other channel, New Genesis channel, is the one that's the old school channel. I think we made that channel when we was like 15, something like that, years ago. As you guys know, some of our favorite rappers, Kendrick Lamar, my favorite rapper ever. J. Cole, Isaiah Rashads, the JIDs, got Schoolboy Q's, the J Rock. So anybody that was in the Dreamville and TDE circle, we listened to them and jammed all the time. You heard the instrumental we used to play. We played basketball and stuff. So seeing a big concert like that, they bring out all the California, legends of people with the local rappers and all type of people around. Dr. Dre was there as well. Kendrick Lamar, the 17-time Grammy winner, a Pulitzer prize winner as well, like that, for his writing for the Damn album as well. My favorite one is definitely The Pimp Butterfly. I think that's my favorite album with Kendrick Lamar. It's a great poem. It's like you hear from start to finish. It's amazing like that. Starting from Wesley Theory and ending with with Immortal Man. Very good album. So Kendrick Lamar has been in his bag lately. Been phenomenal. I think he got another album probably coming out, most likely maybe the end of this year, or maybe the beginning of next year, but it'd be great to see. But yeah, so I was a little tired from watching that yesterday, but that right there was great to see. Another thing is great to see too as well is some of the news that we got going on right here. We see, of course, the early MVP odds. I've seen a little list already, even though the season don't start in September. The regular season starts in September. We see some early MVP odds voting. We got Patrick Mahomes, of course, being the favorite to win the MVP. And then you have him followed by Lamar Jackson and followed by C.J. Stroud. And I can see why those guys are up there. You look at Patrick Mahomes. He's always going to be around that consideration. Patrick Mahomes still have oxygen in his body and blood in his body. If he's still alive, he's going to be an MVP candidate. The man is phenomenal. He did it with some of the best receivers. He did it with some of the, maybe not the best receiver, maybe like some lesser guys like last year he had and stuff, and still find a way to get it done, still find a way to win Super Bowls, and still find a way to be very competitive. He's one of the best quarterbacks we ever seen. So, and he's already top 10 on the list. For me, that's why he's top 10 quarterback of all time already. Look at his accolades. A lot of the quarterbacks up there haven't won MVP. Haven't won Super Bowl MVP before either. So for him to have those already, and he's not even 30 years old yet, it's phenomenal. So we're going to see Patrick Mahomes doing what he do. And then, of course, Lamar Jackson, already a two-time MVP. Won it last year, the reigning MVP. He's a phenomenal player. No one can do it at a high level like he does it in both the run game and the pass game. His ability in the run game actually opens up a lot for his passing as well, like that, to throw on the run. And you see what happened when he finally gets a receiver on the outside, like Zay Flowers, to go out there, and he went out there and looked pretty good. And the guys' team to the AFC Championship, they fell short, of course, to the Chiefs, but I think they'll probably have a chance and fight back and be back there. Then you look at C.J. Stroud, phenomenal season, his rookie season. And the Texans was a team that's supposed to be rebuilding a little bit. We've seen how they started off early. It started off a little shaky like that, but then when they beat my Steelers, I was there in person. Remember that game? I was there in person, front row, to see my Steelers get jacked up by the Texans. But it was still a cool experience. But C.J. Stroud went crazy. And that was a game right there that took off, and he just started playing phenomenal football. And then you look at all the things he started accomplishing. And then you start looking at Tank Dell started balling out. I think he got injured though, and then Nico Collins was balling out. And then they still got Mitchell on the team, but then they went out there and said, you know what, let's go out there and get another guy, a veteran receiver who is still in his prime, Stephon Diggs. They went out there and got Stephon Diggs. I know last year Stephon Diggs kind of declined a little bit, production, the miscommunication with him and Josh Allen, but he's still a very good player, very phenomenal player, still elite player. They went out there and got him, and now he's added to the roster. They went out there and got Joe Mixon. They already had Dameon Pierce last year. Add Joe Mixon with Dameon Pierce. You go out there and get Daniel Hunter. So they're going to be in contention to win a lot of games, and then C.J. Stroud going to be out there as well to go out there and put him some big numbers. He played phenomenal last year. He barely turned the ball over. So I think this year he might be close to 40 touchdowns, or maybe around 40 touchdowns, and maybe close to 5,000 passing yards. They air that ball out because they have a lot of guys who can catch. And Joe Mixon at the backfield be catching as well and can run it as well. They're going to be a dynamic offense. So I can see why those three guys are the early MVP candidates. Now let's move on to the next topic. The 18-game regular season, we've been seeing that idea go around. And put an article up right here on the phone. And put this article up. But we've been seeing this go around for quite some time. Remember I talked about it earlier. There was a few weeks ago, something like that, on one of these videos I talked about it, about the 18-game regular season. It said a lot of the players surveyed by ESPN, 46% were in favor of an 18-game schedule with stipulations, and 8% voted yes without stipulations. So that's a big big ask. They said with stipulations, so they probably want to ask for more, and of course, like more stuff, more guaranteed money should be in there. Another bye week as well. I feel like they should have a mandatory bye week. If you're gonna do 18-game regular season, some guys can barely get through the 17 games, and some guys can barely get through 16 games when they start doing that. But if you're gonna do an 18-game regular season, you gotta have a mandatory bye week. Maybe at a certain point where everybody had their bye, you do like maybe before the last 3 games of the season, you do a mandatory bye. And then everybody's out for that week, and then you come back and do something else like that. You do something else like that, and bring them back. Everybody get back on track and stuff. Because I feel like you're looking at it, the players take a lot of beating, and you also got to add, like I mentioned before in the past video, you got to add some certain things like with the stuff they use to kind of like the remedies they use to get themselves right. So you might have to take the leash off of some of those performance enhancer drugs. Not everything, of course, but some of the stuff, like, first they had marijuana ban, but now they have it there, and some of the players can use it for soothing the pain, and some different pain medicines that can kind of reduce their recovery time, like get them back out there and be comfortable to go out there and play. So they might have to do some things like that, figure those things out. The NFLPA will probably talk to them and discuss some things. But I think the 18-game regular season is not necessary. But the NFL looking at just money, like, okay, we can add another game, and some players are just looking at money too as well, because they're like, hey, another game, maybe we can get more money like that. Because most of these players that probably vote on this, they might not be the players of like the big name players. And some players probably maybe like not taking as much punishment and certain things and not looking at it in a different sense. But of course, getting more money is great and all, but I feel like you put your body at risk. The average NFL season is what, 2 years, 2.5 years. So I feel like 18-game regular season is crazy. So we're gonna see what happens truly. But if that does happen, you got to add a mandatory bye week. I feel like you have to have a mandatory bye week, so everybody get 2 bye weeks at least. They get their individual one, they get their mandatory one, and then you'll see what else happens. And the next topic we have, of course, is the separate salaries. The separate salaries have been a topic that's been going on around too as well. We've seen that some of the NFL owners are kind of pitching that idea around and saying, hey, the quarterbacks are getting paid all this crazy money. Let's do a separate salary base for the quarterbacks to kind of like free some stuff up as well. This was by CBS Sports. They're talking about different things that was going on. The Rich Eisen show, it was mentioning the quarterback salaries, and it said they're trying to do something different with it. And they kind of do like the NBA stuff. Remember, NBA got the Supermax stuff, the things that are happening. Like some players are eligible for Supermax when they play a certain amount of years there, and the production's there when they reach a certain amount. Then they have a certain amount of all NBA selections and a certain amount of all-stars as well. So the NFL trying to get something like that similar, where they can do that for the quarterbacks and kind of have it separate, because the quarterback salaries are taking up a lot of space. You look at some of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. Going to the list right here, if I can pull it up, the list right here. Look at some of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. You look at the first 2 people. One is Joe Burrow. Now Joe Burrow, besides his injuries, he's been very phenomenal. AFC Championship appearance, and also been to the Super Bowl. Just fell a little short like that. But when he's healthy, he's a very phenomenal player. So him being a highest paid quarterback is not crazy or anything like that. In that sense, you just got to stay healthy. But Trevor Lawrence is now tied with Joe Burrow as the highest paid quarterback. And Trevor Lawrence, I think he had more losses than wins as a starter. I know people gonna bring up, well, he had to deal with this and deal with that, but it's a lot of quarterbacks. Here's Stroud coming into a situation where you just the Texas rebuilding, the ownership is crazy. New coach coming in there. D'Amico Ryan's a good coach, though, of course. But new coach coming in there as well, like that, and went out there and still made the playoffs and still won a playoff game. Trevor Lawrence got a playoff win, but he threw 4 interceptions in that playoff win, and had them down bad before they made the big surges that came back. But you look at Trevor Lawrence, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but I don't look at him as an elite quarterback to be considered to be like the highest paid quarterback. But that's the way the game is. Go out there and they're gonna see it. And Daniel Jones, look at what he got last year, $40 million a year. So if he got $40 million a year, you already knew Trevor Lawrence was gonna get something crazy. And now too, when he get paid, he can get something crazy as well. Dak Prescott, like, hey, I got way more accolades and accomplishments than these guys, so I'm gonna get something even crazier as well too. So it's like, I'm keep going up and up and up. So it's gonna be some crazy stuff that's happening. You also look at Deshaun Watson, who hasn't really done anything ever since he got to the Browns. And I know he's been banged up and injured here and there. He was suspended that first time. I think he only played 7 games, and then came back next year and got a little banged up and injured. I think he probably get back on track, but he getting paid a lot of money too. They pay him a lot of money. I think $230 million that he got too as well, and the guarantees are $200 million plus for all those quarterbacks. You look at number 3 is Jared Goff. He got a big time contract as well, $50 million a year. You look at Justin Herbert contract as well. He got one as well. Lamar Jackson, of course, 2-time MVP, so it's rightfully so, of course. And you look at who's next. Jalen Hurts, been to the Super Bowl as well, so it's rightfully so. Kyler Murray, $46 million at number 7. Number 8, Deshaun Watson is $46 million a year, but he had the biggest contract like that. But full wise, but his salary cap is $46 million a year. And then you look at Kirk Cousins, number 9, $45 million a year. You look at Patrick Mahomes, a man who won back-to-back Super Bowls, a 3-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time first-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, one of the best quarterbacks we've seen of all time, is at number 10. So a guy who won all those and covers all that is at number 10. And you look at some other teams like, what y'all doing? It's like, now besides Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrows and Jared Goff, the guys who kind of got their teams to conference championships and Super Bowls and won MVPs as well. Besides those guys, you're looking like, look at Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson and stuff. You're like, y'all paid them a lot of money. You paid them guys a lot of money. Kirk Cousins and all these guys a lot of money. But that's the way the game is. And you're looking at Patrick Mahomes being the 10th best high-paid quarterback and Josh Allen being number 11 right behind him, a guy who's been successful. Of course, he had his failures in the playoffs, but he's been to the AFC Championship game before. You know, he's been an MVP candidate before multiple times and got his team to better standing and stuff. So it's crazy to see how the things is. Like the top 9 quarterbacks have not got a Super Bowl yet. They have some MVPs in there, but have not got a Super Bowl yet. It's only Lamar Jackson, the only MVP in there. It's a few guys who got to the Super Bowl, like Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow and Jared Goff. Besides that, all of them have won a Super Bowl. And you look at number 10, which is Patrick Mahomes, got a Super Bowl. Super Bowl champion. He got 3 of them, 2 MVPs as well. So it's just very crazy to see. The salary cap is just out of control. So they might need to do a separate one, you know, to kind of like open up more stuff for the team wise, because a lot of these teams going to be paying some crazy money for the quarterbacks. Like look at the Dolphins. The Dolphins, I don't know what they're going to do because Tyreek Hill getting paid a lot of money. You just paid Jalen Waddle a crazy amount as well. You're looking at like, hey, what are we going to do with Tua? We're going to pay Tua a crazy amount. They're going to take away everything. Their offense is already stacked and set, but they're going to lose some pieces. So they might not be able to keep everybody too. So they got to find something to do. We'll see what happens. Of course, some quarterbacks who are just like that, you'd be like a Joe Burrow, like I mentioned, Lamar Jackson, of course Patrick Mahomes, of course, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and those guys. You don't mind paying those guys, but some guys you're like a little iffy about. Like, is this guy really gonna bring the Super Bowl to us? That's the question you got to ask, really. I know you might have love for the guy. You might say, well, this guy, he's very good for the team, he's very good for the community and stuff. But is he gonna bring you a Super Bowl? That's the question you need to ask. If the answer, if you got to hesitate and be like, I don't know, really like that, then maybe you shouldn't pay him that much money like that, unless you have no other choice. But you can always go out there and do a different approach, maybe draft a guy, do something. But I don't think a lot of teams want to go that route again like that, starting over. So we're going to see what happens. They might bring this and implement this in within the next few years. And the 18-game season, I feel like it might be happening, not this coming season, of course, but the season after, it might be happening very soon. So we're going to see what happens. But look, after the video, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.